So it looks like Star Wars Theory is being attacked again. Now, this is something that happens damn near weekly at this point, where people decide they want to target Star Wars Theory. Now, let's make it very clear. The people who are targeting Star Wars Theory are usually accounts that wish they were Star Wars Theory, right? Star Wars Theory is the person who is the top guy right now in the Star Wars space, if not one of the top guys, but I believe he is damn near the top. Top guy usually gets the most hate. That's normally how it goes, and it's from people that wish they could be them, so they think that the best way to try to become Star Wars Theory is to try to tear down the person who is at the top right now. So you got this post here that I saw from Rational Fandom, which we already know if somebody claims that they're rational, that means that they're probably not rational. And it says, why is he reacting to it? What does it have to do with him? Why does he believe he's the main character in Star Wars?
But in my world, nerds are gay.
Okay.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, the meltdown has been what you would say astronomical, right? Like, the meltdown is insane when it comes to Star Wars Theory, and that's because he reacted to Amandla Stenberg's video that I myself had reacted to a long time ago, a few days ago, whatever. It's been insane, the pushback on this, and we're going to get into it. So before we do, of course, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, I also have multiple posts. I have like 4 or 5 posts that we're going to go over in this video as well. But we're first going to start off with this video because it's a minute and 28 seconds long. Let's see a little clip. And this is from him himself, so I'm not even taking it out of context or anything. Let's see what this clip actually says, posted by Star Wars Theory himself regarding Amandla Stenberg. Let's make sure the volume's up. Here we go.
There has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and no one had even seen it.
Up to that, I disagree. I was one of the first people on YouTube, actually, years and years ago, when there was talks of a show called The Acolyte, or a show about a acolyte of a Sith that was coming out, and I was like unbelievably excited.
Bigotry, prejudice, hatred.
So they're not going to like that, because you guys got to understand Star Wars Theory. He's not like some YouTuber that just hates on Star Wars just to hate on it. The man actually tries to find the silver lining in whatever is called modern day Star Wars now. Even if most of us are checked out, like myself, for example, there is somebody like Star Wars Theory who is trying to look at everything from an objective point of view and is trying to see whether or not he deems it to be good. And he will speak out against the grain if he genuinely feels like the show deserves it. But when it comes to The Acolyte, they lost him. They lost him due to the terrible writing, terrible characters, terrible presentation. Everything about it was fucking bad. But let's continue.
And hateful language.
100% there are racist people out there. Everything she just named, those people are out there. They exist. They exist in my YouTube comments, in other people's YouTube comments, other people's social media. We've all seen it. But to say that that's the majority, I mean, nobody had a problem with Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu back when I would say this was even more prevalent. Everyone wanted John Boyega to succeed, right? I don't got an issue with you. You just play a cool character. It's really not her fault. It's the fault of the writers. It's the fault of Leslie Headland for not having a single vision or creative idea.
Vitriol that we received.
So that's 100% the case, and what they do is they try to rely on hatred and vitriol as a means to justify why their show fails, because Hollywood fails upwards, right? Hollywood is incapable of admitting when they did something wrong. They love to fail upwards, and anytime they have a massive failure, they expect to get promoted for it, or at the very least, they expect to be able to blame somebody else for it other than themselves.
And the targeted attack, I would say, we received by the alt-right.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was targeted because it was a garbage show that people didn't like, that Star Wars nerds didn't like. In fact, I would say that we really brought the numbers up just by watching it, because we wanted to see how ridiculous this could get.
And being able to be a part of the legacy of something means so much to me.
And he didn't even mention the fact that she kept saying it was the alt-right. Right? It's fucking pathetic at this point that they keep blaming the alt-right for everything whenever something goes wrong with their TV shows, video games, or whatever. It's always the alt-right's fault, even though there are plenty of people on Twitter who are actually not even right-wing in the slightest, have openly said their political beliefs, and yet they still say it's just the alt-right who are angry at diversity in a TV show. It's a fucking joke.
And I've looked up to for so long.
And if that's the case, then you would understand where we're coming from.
No, she doesn't understand where we're coming from. So again, Amandla Stenberg, he didn't say anything crazy. He didn't say anything wrong. He did the prototypical Star Wars theory, speak in a calm voice, and just said his piece and said his mind. Well, people don't like that. People have lost their mind over this case. We had someone called Valken, anime profile picture, so you already know what the fuck that means. It says Star Wars Theory's channel should have actually been deleted. I'm so fucking tired of him. This is the last straw. Making fun of someone being harassed is the last straw. I'm gonna ask people if they watch his content to try and get them to stop. Now, I want you guys to remember, the clip we just saw, was he making fun of her? Did he make fun of her? Of course not. He didn't make fun of her at all. All they saw was that someone ideologically disagreed with him, and they took that as him making fun of her. It is honestly quite pathetic. You got another person here, that's just Joe, says, wow, Star Wars Theory really is a massive piece of shit. His content and thumbnails are looking more like what geeks and gamers are neurotic use. Just shows you who he really is. This is someone who does not belong in the Star Wars community. Can you imagine somebody like That's Just Joe with 47 followers on Twitter, him in his bio, and has the audacity to put his fucking email in his bio as if he means anything to the world? This is the person who is trying to tell someone like Star Wars Theory, who has been in the Star Wars community for over a decade, longer than that, and they're trying to say he doesn't belong in the community. They're trying to gatekeep someone like Star Wars Theory out of it, and I'll tell you why. It's because people like That Just Joe don't actually have any investment in the Star Wars community whatsoever. They want to sit there and try to pretend like they're the mega Star Wars fans, but at the end of the day, we know that's not the case. Someone like this who puts massive geek in his bio as if that's going to convince anybody that that's what he is. Ultimately, Star Wars Theory has way more credibility, especially when it comes to Star Wars or just in terms of content creation, that somebody like this doesn't have the fucking right to even come close to being able to tell him he doesn't belong in the community. But it gets even better. So we got someone called Alexandria. Star Wars Theory is one of the most disgusting, insufferable Star Wars fans in the community. And of course, Ryan C. Showers is always at the scene of the crime when it comes to people like this. And all this is Star Wars Theory saying the following. Never forego your right to criticize media respectfully, especially when said media means everything to you. Liking/disliking something doesn't make you XYZ. It just means you have preferences. And in today's NPC world, that's important. What the fuck did he say that was so disgusting? You know, like this person's trying to, fucking, what is this, Free Palestine in the bio? Of course you got Free Palestine in the bio with a fake profile picture. What is so disgusting about what Star Wars Theory said? Absolutely fucking nothing. What Star Wars Theory said is what everybody always says, but they don't like it because you have to be on the same train as they are. If you're not on the same train as they are, then they automatically want you off the train. They want to throw you off the train. They want to see you fall to your death. Then it says from Yellow Flash, they loved Star Wars Theory, but now they wants him homeless. Look at this ironic statement. This person, Ember, says, I used to think Star Wars Theory was cool. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be when he was talking positive about the content? Because when the content was actually positive, he made fun of videos about the lore, and I cheered him for it when he made his fan film. Now I wish his stupid channel will get demonetized. Wow. So all it takes is one ideological difference, and you immediately want someone's life to be ruined. That makes a lot of sense. And then when you look at the actual profile, it's every single red flag imaginable. She, they, pansexual, of course, queer stuff, 18 plus minors do not interact, right? So they want to claim and make sure everybody understands that minors are not to interact with them, even though their particular community has been caught interacting with minors quite often. But that's besides the point. They're doing this now. If you guys notice that a lot of these profiles that are on this particular side ideologically, they put minors DNI because they know that the general perception around the LGBTQ community, at least the activist version of the LGBTQ community, is that they are heavily in favor of minor stuff. And I'm not just talking sexually either. I'm talking about obviously transing kids, putting them on hormones, ruining their fucking lives. They're obviously okay with it. So they put the 18 plus minors do not interact so that it kind of shields them, or they think it shields them from, accusations of messing with minors or whatever the case may be. I noticed that they're all doing that. So I just found that to be interesting. But of course, again, these kind of people do not like Star Wars Theory because all he said was, hey, it's not your fault, Amandla. The guy literally fucking said that it's not Amandla's fault, but that it is Leslie Headland's fault. It is Star Wars Lucasfilm's fault. It is Disney's fault for terrible writing. and not knowing what the fuck they're doing lately. It is their fault. And then everybody's like, why would he make fun of Amandla? He literally said it's not her fault. How did he make fun of her? I will never know. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.